Hey everybody, this is AI with Dr. Craig, and I'm delighted to have Sohan with us, who's the founder and CEO of Flint, which provides an incredible AI-driven tutor platform for education. And I'm delighted to have you here this morning.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Excited to be here.
Hey, tell us about your origin story and how you came to be involved with AI and developing Flint.
Definitely. So we at Flint, we're actually a really young team. So I'm 25. My co-founder's the same age as me, and everyone on our team is all pretty young. None of us actually have experience as educators, which is our Achilles heel. We're very transparent about that. When we started the company around a year ago, we knew that we wanted to do something when it came to AI and education, mainly because we felt that there was a lot of restrictions in place around how students could use AI, and we didn't really like the direction things were heading in. So, for example, I went to public schools in Fairfield, Connecticut, in the Northeast here in the US. And the school district that I went to had completely banned AI for student use completely. And I was talking to some teachers that were encouraging students to use hotspots to get around the restrictions because they wanted to
Oh,
use AI in cool ways in class. So for us, we really felt, all right, while we're not educators ourselves, we think more should be done to put a more positive spin and find positive use cases of students using AI without this fear of just students using it for cheating. So we
right.
started building a set of tools around a year ago to say like, all right, what is the safe way to bring AI into the classroom? And over the last year, all we've really done is take that initial kind of excitement about using AI with students and turned it into a product that is very teacher driven and encourages positive use of AI without letting students just use it for wholesale cheating. So that's kind of how we got started. We just want to do something with AI in education, and we focus very heavily on what schools were looking for and solving some of the immediate problems they had with like safe access and monitoring and preventing cheating.
And you have Y Combinator involved as well.
We did, yeah. So we went through Y Combinator last year, summer 2023. Yeah, that was a phenomenal experience. Definitely helped our company get off the ground in the very early days.
Wow, congratulations. That's a tough gig to get
Mhm.
into that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It was very exciting. Yeah.
Well, do you mind sharing just for a couple of minutes, what are some of the key learnings and key benefits you and your team received from being part of that incubator?
Yeah, so through Y Combinator, I would say the biggest benefit we got was actually Y Combinator encouraging us from a very early stage, like literally from day one of starting the company, to go focus on customers and to make revenue. So they'd made us take a very, very kind of aggressive stance towards monetizing our product. And initially, we were a little bit nervous to do that. So the way that Flint had started is we were first actually building tools exclusively for teachers. There wasn't any student-facing component to what we were building. We're building something very similar to what the Magic School is built today. And we actually were forced by Y Combinator in a sense to go out and ask teachers to pay for our product. And that was very humbling for two reasons. First of all, it was very challenging to ask teachers that are already, on low salaries to say like, "Hey, we want you to pay for this extra tool, and we think that it's worth it." And second of all, we realized that there wasn't really a precedent for teachers paying for tools out of their own pockets. We realized there wasn't much of a precedent
Hmm,
as well for schools to pay for productivity improvement tools for their teachers. So Y Combinator from a very early stage said like, okay, it's cool that you're building something that you enjoy, that you have some users that enjoy, but you need to build a business and you need to focus really
right,
heavily on revenue. And when it comes down to it, that's good for us in a selfish way of like we are trying to build a business, we are trying to make money, but more importantly, it made us focus on what schools were really putting money and really putting time and
right.
resources into. And that's where we realized there was this hidden need of schools wanting to give students access to AI, but being unable to do that. And when we kind of pivoted our focus to that, because that's where we realized that there was, more money in, more kind of um, focus from schools in, that helped us uncover all these different problems that schools were facing. And a year ago, this was mainly around like, how do we give our under 13s access to AI? How do we give everyone a level playing field when it comes to the same models? And how do we actually monitor what students were doing? So basically for us, we saw this like very shiny object of like helping teachers save time. But as we dug deeper and as we realized the business reality of, the challenge of selling a product like that, Y Combinator helped us understand that, okay, there is this deeper problem of like student access to AI that we instead decided to tackle.
Nice. Revenue and cash is actually fuels the product to be able to get better and hire staff and pay for processing and all of that. So you've got to have the revenue coming in. So that's a good thing that you have there. Can you tell me what was the initial breakthrough with getting universities to sign up for it? Because I can see you've got a number of universities, professors that are endorsing Flint.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's actually mainly K-12 still to this day. We have some, like, higher ed,
Okay.
components, but mainly it's been K-12. I would say for us, we were very scrappy, so we just reached out to lots and lots of K-12 schools, mainly here in the States, but over time, we've kind of started to expand a little bit internationally, especially over the last 6 months. But we just reached out to a lot of school administrators, and we were very comfortable with rejection. We told ourselves, like, "Look, like, we're a tiny startup, like, would we trust us? Like, maybe, maybe not, right? Like, we're young, right? We're a small company." And on top of that, what we were offering a year ago was extremely controversial. It's less controversial now, but it's still kind of
Right.
controversial. We were reaching out to thousands of school administrators per week and saying, "Hey, we want to help you give your students access to AI." And 9 times out of 10, people would respond to us or think, like, they're gonna cheat with it. Like, why would I wanna do that? Like, then we're trying to do the opposite thing of that. So we were very comfortable with the rejection. We reached out to a lot of people, and we did start to find those ultra progressive schools that wanted to do something when it came to giving students access to AI a year ago. And then fortunately, one thing that's really benefited us is over time, in small part because of what we've done, but in large part just because of how folks' attitudes have evolved because of AI more broadly, more and more schools are now actively looking for what we're offering, which is a way to give their students access to AI. But yeah, early on, it was hearing lots of no's. It's like hearing 10 no's for every yes. That just got a little bit better over time now. But yeah, we just reached out to lots of people. We didn't come from a place of like having deep rooted connections in the space. And as much as I love Y Combinator, it's not like they know a ton of schools and universities that they could directly introduce us to. So yeah, we just sent lots of emails. We got on a lot of calls with people, and we just kept repeating the same thing, which is like, we want to give your students access to AI. Like, and once in a while, we'd find someone who also wanted to do that. So it's all about like finding those early adopters, in those first few months.
Fantastic. I'd love it if you could just run us through what Flint does, because I've been having access to it for the last week and a bit, and I just think it's fantastic. Also, Sammy on your support team has been brilliant at responding really quickly with any questions that I have. So, do you want to take it away and show us the magic of Flint?
For sure, yeah, happy to do that. And yeah, that is part of our secret sauce that you mentioned, like just us being very responsive.
Mm,
So again, because we're a small company, we're able to really focus on each of our users, especially each of the schools that we're working with. Because we know that it's not enough to just offer software nowadays, especially when it
right.
comes to AI, it's so fast changing. It's got to
Mm,
be software paired with like, a full experience, paired with like that feedback loop of us hearing what complaints you have with the product and us factoring that in to make the platform even better. So yeah, one thing I can walk you through is I can show you like a couple quick examples of how Flink can be used. I'll show an example for world language because that's not something people often think about when it comes to AI, but it's been one of our most popular use cases. And then I'll cover another one, which is also not commonly thought about, but also popular, which is math. And so let me go ahead and pull up my screen share. I can kind of show you how that works. Let's see if I can get Zoom to work for me here. There we go. Is that showing up for you? Always have to
yes,
check.
great. Thank you.
Amazing. So what I'll do real quick is I'm going to go into my computer, just grab a couple learning objectives, and I can kind of show you how a teacher can use Flint. So
She's
basically with
taking
Flint,
these from the curriculum, Sohan.
yeah, so these are going to be more kind of like broad, not from like a specific curriculum, but I
Okay.
can show how you would then, further customize it to match some set curriculum.
Okay.
But basically, the main way that teachers use Flint is they can design an AI that will then interact with their students. So I know a lot of what I mentioned about our origin story is initially we were just saying, okay, you're a school, you want to give your students access to AI. Here's like a safe way to do that. Once we did that, because that was pretty straightforward from like a software development perspective, we realized that there were use cases of teachers using the AI in more specific ways, maybe to give their students speaking practice in a specific language, or to give them specific math problem practice, or even for assessments. So over time, we've built basically a set of building blocks and customization features that let teachers customize what the AI will do with their students. So basically, as a teacher in Flint, I can go in, I can click create group, and I can create a group for my students, basically like a class page. So for example, I could say something like French 1, section A. I could go ahead and customize this group just for fun, and I can click create. You'll see the interface is pretty similar to Google Drive, where I kind of get this pop-up and I can send this link to this class page to my students, or I can manually add them in here. But automatically now, I'll actually be able to go in and design an AI tutor to help my students. So for example, I can say that I'm teaching my students French at the ACTFL advanced level. And then I could go ahead and input a very specific learning objective. So I can say that my students should be able to order food in a restaurant in French, for example. And then I can even take it a step further and attach some information for the AI to pull from. So for example, here I can attach a website link with some content from the curriculum, or I can even attach a file. So in this case, I'm going to go into my computer and I'm going to go ahead and attach a example French menu from a real restaurant into the platform. This is where teachers can pull in any sort of content. The upload limit here is around 300 pages. So we've seen teachers even upload like small textbooks or chapters from textbooks
Mm.
and have the AI pull from that content. But as a teacher, all you have to do is put in what you want to teach and click create, and then the AI kicks in and helps you do the rest. So what you'll see Flint do now is think of a few different ways of how it can engage in a conversation with your students about this topic. I give you three different options to start off with, and you can choose one of those. So for example, I could choose this third one, which will encourage the student to have a conversation with the waiter and actually make requests and order food as if they're a patron at the restaurant. So I can select that idea, click next, and you'll see the tool will go through automatically and set everything up at that actful level that I put using that menu that I uploaded. So here I can go and I can double check that the conversation is going to be in French. I can turn this into a speaking conversation just by clicking these toggles here. And now my students can listen to what the AI says in French. If I click listen, it'll speak to me.
Bonjour, bienvenue au restaurant.
And then I can speak back to it in French. So I could say something like, Je m'appelle Sohan et je voudrais une baguette, s'il vous plaît. So if I speak back to it in very okay French, it'll actually transcribe what I say perfectly. The teacher can go back and listen to hear exactly what the student said, and the student can then continue the conversation. At any point if they get stuck, unlike a traditional speaking assignment, which is really what we're trying to compare this tool to, the AI will actually be able to stop and help them out, just like a teacher might be able to. So this has been like a really popular way that world language teachers have said, like, all right, we got this whole list of vocab to memorize. Instead of just having a written quiz, have students actually have a conversation about it, bring it to life, and have them have it back and forth about it. So I'd say that's been a really popular use case. Another use case that I was kind of showing to a school actually earlier this morning is using the tool for math practice. So for example, I was on this call with a school and they were asking me, hey, how can we use this tool for SAT math practice? So I went in as a teacher and I put in a very simple learning objective. I just said that my students should get SAT subject test practice for math. And then the tool actually went in, it went ahead and gave the students a math problem to start off. And the student can either type in their answer or show their work through this math equation editor, or they can ask a more advanced question like, can you graph this for me so I can visualize it? And the AI is actually able to create graphs and other visuals to help the student understand the content. We've even seen students go in and do their work on a piece of paper, hold it up in front of their screens by clicking the camera button, take a picture of their work, and pass that into the AI. So you can really have the teacher
Awesome.
set this up to start off, and then students can go in and use it however they see best fit.
That's great.
Mhm. But yeah, that's basically what it looks like from the student side and the teacher side. And then once you have students actually use this tool, you can basically see how they did in a class-wide view. And this is kind of the last kind of piece of this demo that I'll show. Is that if I go into an example kind of assignment that my students have completed, as a teacher, I can see all the list of different sessions for my students. I can click on a student submission. Obviously I can go through and read every single message they've sent with AI, but more importantly, on the right-hand side, I as a teacher and the student gets to see what the feedback that the AI gave to the student. So I can click on a strength and the AI will actually highlight exactly where the student displayed their strengths. So actually cite the feedback. And that's available on a class-wide level as well. So if I ever want to go into the analytics for my whole class, I can see, all right, here's an area of improvement for my students. They could have done a better job of further developing their reasoning on ethical principles. And if I click that, the tool will actually show me every student that showed that area of improvement. So as a teacher, I can basically click through, maybe I'm using this for an exit quiz or a review session, and I can see exactly how my students are doing. And if I want to, I can even create a follow-up assignment based on their areas of improvement. So for teachers, we're taking in all this data and synthesizing into like the main takeaways, just like a really good teaching assistant might do.
Love it. And so those strengths and those areas of improvement, they're automatically pulled out by Flint using the AI to identify them for you across individuals and whole classes as well. That's
Exactly.
brilliant.
Yeah. It's actually all based off whatever the teacher puts in. So if you had your own rubric you uploaded or like a specific
Mm.
curriculum, all the strengths and areas of improvement would be based on how well the student did according to that rubric. So it's all customizable.
So you've not uploaded a rubric or anything for this previously, is that correct?
Yeah, so for this assignment, I haven't. And by default, Flint doesn't have any preset rubrics. really we view our role as providing the building blocks, and then it's really up to the teacher on whether they want to provide a rubric or if they just want to keep it more generic feedback.
Yeah, I'm just blown away that it's able to
Appreciate that. Yeah.
generate
Yeah, no,
the
we've got
marking.
a great team. Yeah, we spend a lot of time kind of tweaking the everything under the hood here to build this.
And I love also for students that the language might be, might be their second language or third language, or students that have dyslexia or something like that. They can actually keep learning this with this by just having a conversation, by listening and speaking throughout it.
Definitely, yeah. It's not something we initially built the tool focused on, but we have been surprised by just how useful it's been with students with dyslexia and with students that, come from different international backgrounds. So yeah, over time we partner with a few kind of learning different schools here in the States, and we have a growing international school segment, mainly because the word's kind of spread and schools have said like, wait a second, like this thing can talk in 50 different languages. Why don't we use it for our students who aren't native English speakers, for example? So, yeah, we really view our role as like not prescribing, here's exactly how to use this tool. But again, I keep using the phrase building blocks because if we build the versatility into the tool, we think that educators will explore and discover those use cases based on whatever their needs are, right? Based on what their students' needs are.
And for teachers that need to get the data out of this in some format to submit into their student management system or learning management system, is there a way to bring data out of this that summarizes what they've been doing?
Yeah, there is. So admins can export the data. That can be done by request. They can reach out to us, say like, hey, we want like a CSV of all our students' data or this specific department's data. And then teachers can also view that data as well. So they can click print here and export this data basically for this individual session as a PDF. And they can then leave comments on that PDF file if they wanted to, or just actually print it out. And then overall for their class, they get a pretty nice dashboard to see what's going on. And that's also available at a school-wide level. So as a school administrator, if I ever click analytics, I can actually see, all right, what are the different strengths showed by students across my school as they're using the platform? What type of questions are they asking? Where they're doing a great job versus what are the areas that they're struggling? So I actually have this live view of how AI is being used at my school. And of course, I can get into the nitty gritty to say like, all right, how often is Flint being used? Is it just those really early adopter teachers, or is it being widely used across, multiple disciplines? So
Yep.
our philosophy here is like more visibility, the better. We show admins and
Mm,
teachers basically everything they might want to see.
very good. And designing an experience in here for students to use when you can copy the link and share it. You can share that in, for example, Google Classroom or into some other learning management system.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all link based. We are adding a kind of rostering integration. It's like an LTI integration over the summer. So that'll be ready hopefully by next school year here in the States. So like early August, or like late July. But yeah, in the meantime, you can basically create those kind of group pages, create those tutors, send the links. And everything that actually in Flint is embeddable. So if you wanted to take it a step further and embed like an AI tutor in your Google Classroom page, that is a step you can take, although usually it's the more advanced teachers going that far.
That's awesome. So they can stay within their learning environment, but accessing Flint directly via Google Classroom. Yeah.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Wonderful. Awesome. And can you tell us or give us a sneak peek about what's on the horizon for some new developments coming for Flint?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there's a couple things. One that we've just recently launched, which I'm very excited about, is that image support, which I know I kind of briefly mentioned. But so far, Flint's been mainly text and language based. But we think that that image support, which is actually powered by GPT-4o, so it
Mm,
has the same functionality as a lot of those flashy kind of Khan Academy demos that I think folks have been watching recently, is that it can actually interpret students' work. It can give students a different modality to interact with the AI in. You can even say you're reading a passage, you're reading something from your textbook, you don't understand it. You could literally click that camera button, hold up that textbook, and say like, "Hey, can you help me understand this specific page or this specific diagram?" And I'll actually be able to do that. So I'm really excited to see how folks use that, not just students, but also how teachers incorporate that as part of their learning, as part of their teaching. So for example, I could imagine photography teachers having students upload photos into the platform and ask the AI to reverse engineer how the photo was taken, and
mm,
just explore, different uses of AI through that. Or even teachers uploading sheet music into the platform and having the AI interpret it, answer questions for students. So I think that image support will definitely open up a lot of use cases that I'm personally excited about. One future development that we are really excited about is we now have, tens of thousands of teachers using Flint to create these really unique types of assignments, right? These AI assignments and these AI tutors that like just a year ago wouldn't really be fathomable. And one of the challenges we have with the platform is communicating what those use cases are to someone who's brand new to it, right? Like
Mm,
I have some examples like this math example, this like French example that I've shown you, but really there's countless examples. But it's hard to tell a teacher, hey, you can do this, do anything with this, right? Teachers want to see some specific things they can do. So one thing we're implementing pretty soon is a community page where teachers can go and see what other
great.
teachers have made, and teachers can basically optionally choose to, share their templates without any student data with other folks. So I think the analogy here is that we built the kind of design tool, we built like the Canva or the Photoshop, but now we want the templates that Canva has, the templates that Notion and those tools have. They basically take it from a blank page to like really specific use case that you can just go and remix and use that other folks have already done the legwork for. So that templates or slash community page is something that's going to be launched by the end of this month. We're really excited about it. And we're working with some of our very most active users to kind of start off that community page with some really phenomenal examples that have been used in the classroom that we know are like tried and tested or that are great.
Yeah, I think that's really powerful. I remember using Kahoot and Quizlet years and years ago and thinking that the community aspect was actually the best thing, being able to go in and find a template and customize it for my own students. I think that's really smart. Sohan, this is brilliant what you've created, and I love the way that there is that option to turn the speaking and the listening off and on. And I've just gone through the tutorial this morning that Sammy sent me to enable
Awesome.
that in the conversations that I've been playing with in here. So thank you very much for sharing and doing the live demo for us. What's the best way for schools to reach out to you?
Yeah, for sure. So actually, I probably shouldn't have stopped the screen share just as you asked that question. But one of the best ways would be just to head to our website. So our website is flintk12.com. We're still working on getting flint.com, but it's a little bit out of our budget at the moment. But flintk12.com will do the trick. If you're a school administrator and you're interested in exploring bringing the platform to your school, you can always book a demo, and that will let you book a time with either Sammy or myself, and you can hop on a quick 20-30 minute call. We have times always available, especially over the summer. It's a little bit more quiet for us. You can book a time with us, learn more about the platform, ask any questions that you have. But if you're an individual teacher that just wants to get started, or you're an administrator with some spare time and you want to start without having to talk to anyone, you could just request a free trial. That'll like basically ask you to fill in some basic information about your school, like your email address and your first and last name, and we'll send you a free demo environment that you can try out for as long as you like. Flint's actually entirely free for any number of teachers and administrators. So if you have like an AI committee that you're exploring tools with, more than welcome to try it out. There's no pressure to buy. You can decide from there. Beyond that, if you ever go to our website and you head to the use cases page, you can see the different examples of how you can use the tool. These are going to offer way more examples than the ones I've covered here. And if you go to the what's new page, you can see the new stuff that we're adding. We typically have like pretty significant product updates every 3 to 4 weeks. After this call today, I'm actually putting together a new update demo video to show like that image support that I was talking about earlier. So yeah, our website's definitely gonna be the place to go. And if you want to chat with us, book a demo. But if you don't, and typically I don't when I try new tools, I just want to get in there. You can just request a free trial and we'll email that to you basically the same day or the next day.
Brilliant. Sohan, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, no, thanks so much, Greg. This is great.